You know what's funny? Most people think change starts with doing something different, a new habit, a new plan, a new strategy. But that's not where transformation begins. True change doesn't start with action. It starts with awareness, the kind that cuts deep, the kind that makes you stop mid-sentence and realize, wait a second, I've been living like this for years and I didn't even notice. We all have patterns, emotional, mental, behavioral, that run on autopilot. We wake up, grab our phones, complain about what's wrong, talk ourselves out of the things we want, and call it a routine. But what if I told you that 90% of what you do every single day isn't even a conscious choice? It's conditioning. It's repetition. It's old programming that's been running your life, like background software you forgot was installed. The truth is, you cannot change what you refuse to see. And most people spend their lives fighting symptoms instead of facing causes. They'll try a new diet, a new relationship, a new business idea, and yet the results stay the same because they stay the same. You can't solve an internal problem with an external fix. You can't rewire your life until you first see the wiring. So let's start right here, right now. Take a breath. Think about the areas of your life where you've been stuck, maybe your career, your energy, your relationships, your confidence. You say, I don't know why it's not working, but deep down, you do. There's a part of you that knows exactly why you're not moving forward. You've just been too busy, too distracted, or too afraid to listen. Awareness hurts sometimes, doesn't it? Because it forces you to look at the truth without the excuses. But that's also where freedom begins. The moment you become aware, you reclaim choice. When you catch yourself saying, I always mess things up, and you stop mid-thought and ask, is that really true? That's awareness. When you notice that you pull away every time someone gets too close, that's awareness. When you realize your mind automatically jumps to what could go wrong instead of what could go right, that's awareness. And here's the beautiful thing. Once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to pretending you don't know. The same way you can't unhear a truth that hits your soul. From that point on, the old behavior starts to lose its power because the light of awareness exposes it. You begin to catch yourself in the moment, the hesitation before making a call, the tension before speaking up, the guilt before saying no. That's your window. That's where change lives. Every breakthrough I've ever seen, every human transformation begins in that space between awareness and action. It's when you finally say, I've been running this pattern long enough and I'm done. Not out of shame, not out of anger, but out of realization. That's when your power comes back online, because awareness is not weakness. It's not just being mindful. It's a weapon. It's the power to pause, to interrupt the unconscious script that's been dictating your behavior for years. Most people don't lack motivation. They lack awareness. They're swinging in the dark, wondering why they keep hitting the same wall. Awareness turns the light on. Let me give you an example. Maybe you keep saying you want more energy, but every morning you start your day scrolling through negativity, complaining about being tired. You're feeding the very pattern you're trying to break. When you become aware of that, something shifts. You start catching yourself before that first scroll. You start asking, is this how the person I want to become would start their day? And in that question lies transformation. Or maybe it's emotional. You find yourself getting angry in traffic, snapping at people you care about. But when you slow down enough to notice it, to feel the tension in your chest, to watch the thought rise, you create space between stimulus and response. That space is your freedom. In that split second, you can choose differently. You can redirect your focus. That's the moment when you stop being controlled by your emotions and start leading them. Awareness doesn't mean judgment. This isn't about beating yourself up for what you see. It's about observing without attachment, understanding that everything you've done up to now was simply the best pattern you had available. And now that you see it, you can choose better ones. Every limitation is just a pattern that's gone unquestioned. Every pattern that's been exposed loses its grip. You want to change your body, become aware of what triggers your habits. You want to change your finances, become aware of how you feel about money. You want to change your relationships, become aware of the stories you tell yourself about love. It all starts with awareness, because awareness gives you options, and options give you freedom. That's why transformation never starts with how. People ask me all the time, Tony, how do I change my life? And I tell them, stop asking how and start asking why you keep repeating what doesn't serve you. Once you become aware of that, the how reveals itself naturally. You can't strategize your way out of blindness. You have to open your eyes first. And sometimes awareness will shake you. It'll show you the gap between who you've been and who you could be. That can feel uncomfortable, but that discomfort is your awakening. It's your system waking up from autopilot. Most people fear that feeling, but that's the feeling of power coming back. The moment you wake up, your excuses lose authority. The story you've been telling yourself starts to sound hollow. You begin to crave alignment. Awareness is not the end, it's the ignition. It's the spark that sets everything else in motion. From awareness comes clarity, from clarity comes focus, and from focus comes change. Every extraordinary life begins with that quiet realization, I've been the one in my own way. That's not defeat, that's liberation. Because the second you see it, you can do something about it. You can rewrite the pattern. You can redirect the energy. You can reclaim your story. And that's when transformation stops being something you dream about and becomes something you live. So remember this, the moment you become aware, you've already begun to change.